3.18. In the close beauty of the inhuman wise. You see, same thing. He is described, inhuman wise. Absolutely, he has not forgotten what he had written earlier, you see, in the first part, you see, inhuman wise. 3.18. Around him crowded grey and squalid huts, neighbouring proud palaces of perverted power, inhuman quarters and demoniac wars. Now here, inhuman means cruel, harsh, demoniac, you see. So you have to understand the context in which these here. Of an implacable eternity of pain, inhuman and intolerable. Which is not really human made, which is very cruel, very harsh, extreme, you see. Inhuman forest, far from cheerful sound. This is what we are seeing here. This is the inhuman forest, you see. 114.12. Many inhuman solitudes came close. With strange inhuman paces on the soil. This is what we are seeing now at the moment, you see. A huge inhuman cyclopean voice. This means which is not human, which is cruel, cyclopean here. You see. In contrast to that, you have unhuman. There are two occurrences of word unhuman. Out of the world's immense unhuman past, which is not human, before man came into existence, before man arrived on the scene. Tracked memories and ageless remnants came of the deep, deep past before the arrival of man. That is unhuman. In nature's green, unhuman solitudes, means there is no human being at all here. And the blind murmur of primal calm. Savitri is asking Satyavan, why you are living in the unhuman loneliness, where there is no habitation, where are no people, you are a youth, you look like a prince, why you are living in this unhuman condition? You don't have friends, you don't have people as you deserve. And Satyavan replied, etc., etc. With strange, inhuman paces on the soil, journeying as if upon an unseen road. Obviously, Savitri is journeying for the first time, journeying without seeing me. Around her, on the green and imaged earth, the flickering screen of forest ringed her steps. So while she is walking now, the forest is ringing with her steps. Savitri's steps are now kind of echoing in the entire forest. Flickering screen. So the whole thing is flickering vibrantly. Ringed screen. It's thick, luxurious obstacles. You see, now he makes it clear. Luxurious obstacles of boughs, the branches of trees, they are becoming an obstacle. They are very rich forest. It stands for? No, imaged earth. No, around her on the green imaged earth, the flickering screen. Its thick, luxurious obstacle of boughs besieged her body, pressing dimly through in a rich realm of viscous palpable, and all the murmurous beauty of the leaves rippled around her like an emerald robe. So the whole wounds, the rustling sound of the leaves, as if it is a kind of a robe now to Savitri, you see. Rippled around her like an emerald robe, the green leaves making a robe for Savitri. But more and more this grew an alien sound. See, she is listening now because she is still very intimately connected with the surroundings. She has come out of her physical body. She is in the Sukshma Deha, the subtle body, and the subtle body is feeling that thing. But as she will start moving away from that, then this will go at the back. But more and more this grew an alien sound. So the dear earth these forests which are familiar to her, they are now becoming strangers, aliens. Alien sound, and her old intimate body seemed to her a burden which her being remotely bore. So even her physical body which is lying there now, that itself has become, there is a kind of a connection, contact between the physical body and Savitri's subtle body, you see. It is that now, a burden which her being remotely bore, she was now bearing still, you see. So actually, normally, in fact, in most of the cases, the advice is always that when you are coming out of your physical body, there should be somebody to guard it. There should be present. You can come out of your body, but the physical body now, which is having no contact with that, should be guarded by somebody. In this case, there is nobody guarding the physical body of Savitri at all. And that is important also. That is why the death has taken place in the lonely forest, in the inhuman forest, so that there is no other interference at all from anybody between the physical body and the subtle body which is. If by chance the contact is snapped between the physical body and the subtle body, the person is dead. He cannot come back at all. He cannot come back at all. So that is why the occult reason why the death should occur in the forest is that Savitri should be able to come out without her physical body being guarded by anybody around her. Otherwise, all the people there weeping, crying, shouting, tantrums, she there after the death. So she cannot do her occult yoga at all, you see. Therefore, the death has to take place in the lonely forest. You see. It is a necessity. In fact, that is why the destined place, destined meeting place, destined place for death also, rippled round her like an emerald robe. But more and more this grew in alien sound, and her old intimate body seemed to her a burden which her being remotely bore. So that sthula deha, that gross physical, is becoming now burdensome. She has to keep aside and move. Herself lived far in some uplifted scene, where to the transient vision of pursuit, soul presences in a high spaceless dream, the luminous spirit glided stilly on, and the grey shadow travelled vague behind. Now the scene is moving here towards Satyavan and death. Soul presence in a high spaceless dream. This is a dream actually, the whole thing. The luminous spirit, that is Satyavan, glided stilly on. He cannot but move. In fact, it is not in his control at all. He is sleeping. He has to glide down the valley into the void. Glided stilly on, and a grey shadow, that is Yama, travelled vague behind him. Still, with an amorous crowd of shaking hand, softly entreated by their old desire, her senses felt us close and gentle air. Savitri now, she is still in contact with that thing, and her senses felt us close and gentle air. That thing is still there in the case of Savitri. Cling around them, and in troubled branches knew uncertain treadings of a faint foot wind. The way the wind blows, that she is still feeling there. She bore dim fragrances. See, all the flowers which are there, fragrant flowers which are there, she is carrying them around. Far callings touched the wild bird's voice, and his winged rustle came as if a sigh from some forgotten world. So she is still remembering, she is there, but as if they are coming from some other world. See. Earth stood aloof, yet near. Savitri is still close to the earth. Round her, it wowed with sweetness. Round Savitri, earth. Wow, its sweetness and its greenness and its delight. So they are there still, kind of attractions, kind of allurements to Savitri to bring back. Its brilliance, soft, velvet, vivid hue. sunlight arriving to its golden noon, sunlight arriving to its golden noon. What a lovely phrase, you see. Sunlight arriving. Actually, the whole thing is happening at noon, and the sunlight is there. So it is now Savitri in the practice in the most golden form there, see. And the blue heaven and the caressing soil. So everything is now kind of endearing Savitri, helping Savitri that way, see. The ancient mother offered to her child a simple world of kind, familiar things. Ancient mother offered to her child, her ancient mother, child, of course, Savitri. Her simple world, her, the mother's simple world of kind, familiar. So all the trees, flowers, birds, everything, fragrance, everything, she is offering to Savitri, you see here. Ancient mother. Who is ancient mother? Obviously the nature all around, Mother Earth. In fact, the phrase ancient mother appears number of times when you see that thing in Savitri. Heavy, unchanged, very still, imperfect work, 1935. Splendid youth of time has passed and failed. Now this is the play of Ashwapati to the Divine Mother. He is making prayer to her in book 3, Canto 4. Heavy and long are the years our labor count, and still the seals are firm upon man's soul, and weary is the ancient mother's heart of the earth, of Mother Nature. Her heart is very, things are happening but not happening at all, you see. So that is the kind of an argument Ashwapati is making to the Divine Mother. So this is the first ancient mother here. Then we have got here, out of the ignorance, toil of the years, abandoning man's loud drama, he had come. He, Satyavan, to meet the ancient mother in a crowd. He grew up in the forest like a boy, young boy, and therefore he is in intimate contact with Mother Nature all around. In fact, he says that I have learned everything from her. So everywhere that ancient mother, that thing is there. The ancient mother faces all with joy. That is again from the book of Fate. Here, the ancient mother clutched her child to her breast. Now, if you see the differences in all the other places, this A is small, except here. Here A is capital. The ancient mother clutched her child to her breast, 131.3. Now this is what we have seen already. Savitri was told to annul herself totally, book 7, Canto 6, and she had practically dissolved into the Absolute. She would have gone away from this creation altogether. That would have been the laya, dissolution of Savitri into the absolute nothingness. She would have been lost to this creation. But Savitri cannot do that. It is the ancient mother who clutches her child back. Sorry, Savitri, you cannot go away like that. You have work to do here. How can you disappear? How can there be laya? You have to come back here and do the work. So she is clutching her back, the ancient mother, the Divine Mother herself, the Mother Earth. The ancient mother offered, this is what we are seeing now, just now, a simple child. And there is the last occurrence here. I will bear with him the ancient mother's load. I will follow with him. Earth leads to God. Savitri is telling to Yama, to death, look, I am here to carry out the load of the ancient mother. For her work I am here. See. So everywhere the ancient mother we can equate to Mother Nature, Mother Earth. The ancient mother offered to her child a simple world of kind, familiar things. But now, as if the body's sensuous hold, curving the Godhead of her infinite walk. Savitri would like to run fast, move on infinitely, but there is a kind of a curbing now of the body's sensuous hold. She is feeling now the pressure of her part of the subtle physical which is close to the gross. Curving the Godhead of her infinite walk, had freed those spirits to their grander road across some boundaries intangible bound. The silent God grew mighty and remote in other spaces, and the soul she loved lost its consenting nearness to her. Now, the silent God, Yama has not spoken anything at all so far, he is silent. Well, actually he did speak, but he is, after picking the soul, he is moving on now. Grew mighty and remote. He has become unapproachable to Savitri. Savitri is feeling the constraint of the surroundings and all that thing. But Yama has no constraint of that kind. He can move very rapidly, very far. Savitri may not be able to follow them in their paces after some time. Therefore, in other spaces, and the soul she loved, that is Satyavan, lost is consenting. So the nearness which was there until now between them, that is now getting distant, getting lost. They are moving away very far from each other into a deep and unfamiliar air, enormous, windless, without stir or sound. They seem to enlarge away. They, Yama and death and Satyavan spirit, they seem to disappear. They are going out of the reach of Savitri. They are going out of the sight of Savitri. She may not be able to follow them because that physical nearness with the surrounding is still there, and that is curbing her movement, her rapidity. Drawn by some wide, pale distance from the warm control of her, and her grown far. So she is now trailing behind. Now they would escape. So, what a powerful line, you see. They will be beyond the vision sight of Savitri. She may not be able to follow them at all, you see. But then at that time something happened, something most beautiful happened. Then, gleaming from her body's nest, alarmed, her warring spirit soared at Satyavan. Gleaming from her body's nest, like a bird resting in her body, she is coming out like a flame now from that. Alarmed, because now they would escape and she will not be able to follow them. Therefore she is alarmed, and therefore she is flaming out like that. See, flaming from her body's nest, alarmed. Now this flaming, we have the very phrase towards the end of Canto 2, Book 1, the issue. Last sentence, 4.48. Then flaming from her body's nest, alarmed, her warring spirit, Savitri soared at Satyavan. He says here, a flaming warrior from the eternal peaks. That is Savitri, you see. Flaming warrior, see. And here the flaming spirit, her body, you see, coming out from like that, you see. Empowered to force the door denied and closed, smote from death's visage the tongue absolute, and burst the bounds of consciousness and time. So Savitri is coming out of that now, see. Human Satyavan. See, flaming. That's Satyavan, you see. Then flaming from her body's nest, alarmed, her warring spirit soared at Satyavan.